It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NFL action here. Titans at Bengals. If you want 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net, just use the promo code TREAT, T-R-E-A-T. The Titans favor in this one at -5.5. That line has shot up after opening a little bit lighter. I think the Titans were -3. The total is 54.5. The Titans are coming off a tough loss at home to the undefeated Steelers, a really tough Steelers squad. Bengals coming off a tight loss to the Browns. The Titans are 5-1 on the season, but 2-4 against the number. Bengals 1-5-1, but great at covering. 5-1-1 against the number, and also maybe 6-1 depending on the number you had on some of those games. Craig Trapp joining us to talk this one. Craig, what jumps out to you when you see Titans and Bengals lined up?
Well, first of all, like you said, that opening line, I mean, obviously it was off, and it was the correction happened almost what they call the first snap of the line correction. This thing jumped 2, and I would expect this line to end up 6.5, maybe even 7, because Tennessee, even though they haven't been good against the number, they've just been world beaters this year. I mean, they are just mowing through teams, and this Bengals defense has got problems, and Dunlap and both Atkins look like they went out of town, and sounds like this week will maybe lead to that. So I think when you look at this game, first of all, you have to be shocked that the line came out low, but it's definitely on the way to being correct. I wouldn't doubt if this ends up in the 6s or 7s.
It's been major problems for Cincinnati. One of the worst run defenses in the NFL, and they're likely to be without their starting left tackle, right tackle, center, and running back for this one. And as you mentioned, Carlos Dunlap posted on Twitter those houses for sale, arguing on the sideline. So a lot of chaos when it comes to the Bengals. But Joe Burrow continues to be really good despite all that. He already has 5 300-yard passing games and on pace to break Andrew Luck's rookie passing record. So what's the play you like in this one?
I'm liking the over here. This Bengals team is coming off a huge output last game, and also, of course, giving up even more. What a game, like you said, by Joe Burrow. Both the games against the Browns this year, he's been amazing. And Tennessee has not been great on defense. That has been their one worry. And it's kind of surprising because Mike Vrabel's known as a defensive guy. And you would think with the great run game, they'd be able to keep the ball away. But it's like they score rather quickly for a run team. Usually those running teams take these huge long. They play the play action passes have been very successful. Ryan Tannehill continues to be just amazing. I mean, since he started last year for the Titans, they lost 2-3 games? I mean, it's been amazing. And really, I mean, if you have a kicker last week, they probably would have had a chance to win that one.
Yeah, that was definitely a disappointing way to lose that one. However, I mean, they needed to make that to get into overtime, so it wasn't a guaranteed win. But right on the nose for this Titans defense. Last season, their problem was having a pass rush. They didn't have one. That's why they lost to the Chiefs. Couldn't get any pressure on Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game. So ownership went out and signed Vic Beasley and Jadeveon Clowney. However, they only have 7 sacks this season, which is second worst in the NFL. But maybe we'll see it against the Bengals, who have given up the most sacks in the NFL with 28 on the year. So on paper, this looks like a really great spot for the Titans. However, the Titans seem to play to the level of their competition. They were great against the Steelers, but they also needed overtime to take down the Texans. So I don't know if I'm willing to trust the Titans to cover the number here, but I do like the over at 54.5. The Bengals have been hot on the over, and so have the Titans. 14-2 in the regular season with Ryan Tannehill starting. 14 games to the over out of those. So I like that trend to continue here. The Titans defense still hasn't proven anything to me, and Joe Burrow continues to be good despite all the problems in Cincinnati. So I do like the over here.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Joe Burrow, if he had any offensive line at all, it's crazy what numbers he probably would put up. I mean, but remember at LSU, he was great on the quick passing. I think we'll see more of that as the season progresses because this Bengals offensive line is really banged up right now.
Right, and I think that's why the Steelers had a lot of success because Big Ben gets the ball out so quickly.
Yep.
He's one of the guys in the NFL that can get it out so quick. Several touchdowns, 2 seconds or less. So if Joe Burrow can do that, I think that they're able to score some points in this one. Derrick Henry, I think, will have a big game because, as I mentioned, Cincinnati's run defense, not good. So I think we see a big game from Derrick Henry as well.
Yeah, garbage is what you call this Bengals run game.
We're hoping for an over in this one, and hopefully it's not as much of a sweat as the last game was for the Titans. That's going to do it for our Titans and Bengals talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Craig Trapp. Craig, thanks for joining us.